Hi friends, in this video I'm going to talk about high yield investment programs, sometimes called as bullet programs attached to private placement programs, and a little bit about everything you need to know to how to participate in them, what are the types of questions you need to learn before you can get in, what are things that you can ask for. If you don't know me and you're new to this channel, my name is Taimour Zaman. I've been frauded not once but twice in private placement programs. Today I can, with confidence, with references, I can claim that I've participated now in these types of programs successfully. And I've been successful at taking friends and families into these programs as well successfully. I'm the author of the book Hypergrowth: How to Connect to Customers, Investors in New Ways. Feel free to check out a copy or get a copy of my book through Amazon. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so right now. You will access banking products and services that banks have been offering for the past, over 50, 60 years to what I call their top 30, top 50 customers. You will access customer walkthroughs, case studies, customer case studies, different banking products, strategies, deployment, intergenerational wealth, how to become a bank first, how to deal with a global recession using banking programs and services that banks are primarily offering to what I call their Fortune 30 customers. I want to tell you a little bit about who we are and what we do. Here at Allfunds Global, my organization helps businesses, successful businesses, leverage their assets, cash, stamp letters of credit, and so on, to access capital that banks are primarily offering to their Fortune 50 customers. The ability that our relationships with banks, the volume of transactions we do, the expertise and experience that we bring to the table makes that happen. The capital that our clients get allows them to fund a project, grow their business, maybe if they see a side opportunity that they want to participate and do that, expand their existing businesses, or even buy a business. Full disclaimer, in this video, at no point, we're not lawyers, we're not accountants, we're not your advisors. So there's nothing here that we're going to offer you, share with you that would constitute as legal advice or strategy or company advice. At no point are we going to solicit a program, product, or service like that. This video, or the purpose of this video and all of our other videos, is strictly for entertainment and educational purposes only. What I do want to talk about is a little bit about what you need to participate in a private placement program, and sometimes called high yield programs, specifically called bullets. Bullet programs that's tied to a private placement platform. When it comes to bullet programs, it's not something that my organization promotes or that we advise people to do. If anything, we find over 99.9% of these programs to be fraudulent. So in full disclaimer, bullet programs are programs that we actually do not promote, do not participate in. We actually advise clients not to participate in something that's a bullet program that's tied to a private placement program. Should you choose to participate in a program like that, I'm going to tell you what are the things that you need to have to get into the game, what are things you need to look for, what are things you should ask, why a lot of people fail, and how to participate in them successfully. What's earned me the right to do so is simply because I was frauded not once but twice, and I went and I hired former FBI and former CIA agents to help me vet these programs out. And by doing that, I created a different mousetrap that allowed the marketplace to come in with programs to me for us to vet them out. And over the years, we started to discover platforms, attorneys, and so on that were actually producing real results. If you want to participate in one of these programs, the first thing you need is capital. When I say you need capital, I mean real capital. You can't walk in with $500,000. $500,000 is a lot of money to a lot of people. It's not enough to participate in a real private placement program. $5 million is a lot of money to a lot of people. Guess what? It's not enough for you to participate in a real private placement bullet program. To participate in any kind of programs that's genuinely real, you need to have real money. And when I say real money, you need to have $100 million minimum liquid cash ready to go. The second thing you need, or what I would advise you to have, is a mentor or organization or individual that has been there, done that successfully. And a mentor, and I'm not trying to brag about us or insert us, I know other people who've done this successfully. A mentor who's been there will tell you, will guide you, here are the questions you should ask for, here are the things to avoid, pitfall to avoid, like that. Having a mentor in this space is extremely, extremely crucial, especially this is a place where you see a lot of fraudulent platforms. The other thing that I would highly recommend is having a really good securities attorney. Not John, your neighbor, John, your uncle, or somebody who really doesn't know what private placement programs are about. What I recommend is retaining a law firm that is a securities law firm, specifically litigation securities law firm, to represent you. And you're looking for a law firm that understands what private placement programs are, match buy or sell programs are, standby letters of credit are. The next thing I would highly recommend for you to have or consider having is an investigation team. We provide former FBI, former CIA agents who come from the white collar crime division, so they understand these things all day long. They vet it out for our clients. And these are some things I would highly recommend for you to have to get into the program. This is something that I recommend having deep understanding of. Let me say this again. These are things that I highly recommend you to have a deep understanding of. So first thing that I invite you to learn about, and it's a field of study. Like imagine you want to learn heart surgery. It's a field of study by itself. If you want to participate in private placement programs successfully and know how to make so much money from these things, I think you should really understand them. So things that you want to spend time investigating and understanding and learning about is something called the capital swap market. You know, in 1967, Richard Nixon at the time was the president of the United States. He said the United States dollar no longer has to be backed by gold. That law, that comment invented something called the fiat currency. It invented something called the credit market. So you really want to understand private placement programs, match buy sell programs, high yield programs, bullet programs. These are all some version of a credit swap market. And that's something you really want to understand. I want to introduce you to a concept I'm sure you're familiar with called hedging. In real estate, they do a lot of hedging. It's basically some person who's selling some kind of a commercial property or some kind of land, and a buyer comes in and says, you know what, I'll give you $50,000 down, $10 million property. I'll put maybe $1 million down today, and in the next 120 days, I'm going to give you the amount of money owing. That's called hedging in real estate. What you want to know is hedging is done in other industries. People hedge on real estate, people hedge on oil and gas, on commodities, cars, technology, even companies. You can go to a company that's for sale, put 10%, 20% down, and then you have 90 days to put the difference down. And that 90 days, you're trying to flip the company for a higher price than you bought it for. So if you understand the concept of hedging, what you also want to learn about or think about is you can also do hedging in banking instruments. So you can go to somebody who issues letters of credit, put something down like a wire fee down, 20% down, and say, I'm going to pay you the difference in 90 days. I'm going to pay you the difference in 180 days. You get a contract, and then you're trying to find a monetizer, somebody who's going to pay you more for that instrument that you decide to buy. That's called hedging. I'll give you a very simple example that most people understand. Imagine you are buying 250 cars from Japan. You put them in a ship and you send them to the United States. And the guy who sells you the car in Japan will say, okay, I'm going to give you 250 cars. I'm going to get paid the minute the cars get on your ship. You say, no. I need the cars to be on the ship, and when it hits the United States is when I'm going to pay you for the cars. So you pay down the down payment or something, you get the cars from Japan in a ship. While that ship is going slowly to the US, you are hustling. You're calling everybody you can think about in the United States. And what you're trying to do is not sell one car or two cars. You're trying to sell 250 cars on one shot to one customer. You're calling dealers, brokers, anybody you can think of. Eventually, you get a hold of a guy and he'll say, I'll buy you the cars from you, and I work for Uber. But I'm not going to pay you for 250 cars when the cars get into the dock. I'm going to pay the 250 cars when I take it from you and I put it into an Uber system and I generate money out of it. That's when I'm going to pay you. So now you have a buyer who has terms that don't match the seller's terms, and now you have to negotiate with the seller. Hey, Mr. Seller, I still want to have to commit to the contract I have with you. When I take the cars, I need to, they do quality assurance. When they go to US, they're going to open up the hoods and they want to make sure that the cars are real. So I just need a little bit of time when I get the cars into the US. Can you give me like another 2 more days? So that's called hedging. I give maybe an import-export example as a story so people understand. But that's what you're doing with banking instruments, or what's called a credit swap. When you understand credit swaps, what you specifically want to understand is something called capital adequacy ratios and risk management ratios. Let me say this again. You want to understand, look for capital adequacy ratios and risk management ratios. What is that? What does that mean? Well, once you understand them, here's what you're going to get. You're going to understand why HSBC Bank, as an example, or Barclays Bank, it doesn't make sense for them to issue a stamp letter of credit that goes in a private placement program. It doesn't make sense for them to sell their own paper for, let's say, 30%, 50%, and the next day have a monetizer come back to the bank and monetize it at 80%. Like, imagine you have a product that you sell for $30, and next day the guy who got the product will come to you and want to sell you your own product for $50 or $80. That, like, why would you do that? Once you understand capital adequacy ratios, some of the things you will start to understand is why HSBC or Barclays, they're not going to sell their own paper and then monetize their own paper. It doesn't make sense. They don't even take each other's papers and monetize their own paper at a higher margin. It doesn't make sense. A lot of this paper, this asset, has to go to a different market. It has to go to the no-name bank in Korea, the no-name bank of Kazakhstan, the no-name bank of Timbuktu, because the paper those guys have is worthless. It really is. So when the no-name bank of Korea gets $100 million line of credit from Barclays, they can go to a central bank and get $1 billion line of credit out of it, or loan out of it, whatever they do out of it. That's worth the transaction. That's why understanding capital adequacy ratios, risk management ratios is crucial to understanding private placement programs. Once you understand that, I'm going to tell you things you can ask for. So you have to have real capital. You really have to have real capital. If you want to play this game, you really want to understand the rules of the game, how they're played. It's like brain surgery. Like, how does brain surgery happen? You want to understand the concepts and some form of a detail. Now that you understand that, here are the things you can ask for. When you get in front of a legitimate private placement platform, what you want to ask for is something like, can you show me past performance? Can you show me past performance? A lot of successful syndicators, at the minimum, should be registered with FINTRAC, should be registered with SEC, should be able to demonstrate some kind of successful performance. If there's a genuine private placement program that's out of Europe, they're not registered with SEC. It's an American regulator. They don't need to be registered, but they should be able to show some kind of past performance. You should be able to get in front of the trader, the person who's actually trading the instruments, and say, can you show me a level 8 banking license? Can you show me at the minimum a Euroclear? As a trader, they would have a trading number. Can you show me your Euroclear report? And on Euroclear, you should be able to see how much that person has traded. Although private placement programs are truly private, banking is a regulated industry. Banking is an extremely regulated industry. So when you issue $100 million or 100 million euro Barclays instrument, trust me, there's 5,000 documentations on what got issued by who, when, who is it going to, like all that stuff. So it's a regulated industry. Now, remember, you have real money, not monopoly money. You're not going in with $5 in your bank account. Like, you have to have $100 million to earn the right to be in front of a platform. And then you're going to ask for, hey, I'm a real player. Here's the money. Show me the exit plan. You have the right to, you've earned the right to ask that question if you have 100, 250 million, 500 million. Genuinely, you have the money. There's a lot of people that go on places like eBay and then they buy a bond, a junk bond out of eBay for like $500 million and they pay $500. If you're one of those guys, this conversation just does not relate to you. If you are not one of those guys and you actually have $100 million, $500 million, you can ask the trade desk, the platform, to show you what are the transactions that you've secured, the match buy sell programs of buying and selling medium-term notes, bonds, standby letters of credit. Show me the pipeline of transactions you've secured on the buy and sell program, and I want to look for something called solid exit plan. Like, you want to make sure the exit plan is solid. If you don't understand that, allow me to share an analogy with you. Imagine you go to a stockbroker. It has to be a very experienced stockbroker. And you say, hey, Mr. Stockbroker, I have $100 and I want to make $400 by the end of this month. Can you help me out? This is how it works. An experienced stockbroker will say, I know, as an example, every Monday, IBM goes up a lot. So they take your $100, they'll go and buy IBM stock in the morning, and that's the IBM shoots for quadruples. So the IBM stock, the $100 turns into $400, right? And the experienced stockbroker knows that every time IBM stock goes up, their competitor HP Enterprises, also goes up. So the next day, the guy takes the $400, puts it into the HP stock, and the $400 becomes $800. And then he knows that Meta just had some kind of a bill issued, released from the Congress, and Facebook stock or Meta stock is going to go up. So the following day, he takes the $800 and he puts it in Meta stock, and now he makes $1,600 in it. So within 3 days of buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, the $100 has turned into $1,600. So now the trader will say, I'm going to take $800 for my performance, half of the $1,600, and I'm going to give you $800 back, Mr. Client. So your $100 turned into $800. How amazing is that? Now, the one question people ask is, Taimour, there's a lot of fraud in this industry, get it. Why is it that most people fail to get into these programs legitimately? One of the legitimate platforms that I know of get thousands of applicants a year. And if they get the third file in, they've had a bonus year. So they get 1,000 applications a year. If they get the third file in, they've had a bonus year as far as the platform's concerned. So when I talk to people who actually run these genuine platforms, here's the information that I get on why so many people fail. The first one why a lot of people fail is that they actually don't have $100 million. That's the truth. A lot of people don't own $100 million. What they do is they borrow money from friends, family. They try to syndicate it in a really weird way. And they go to the platform pretending that they have $100 million. And the truth is that genuinely they don't have that $100 million. They don't even know how to structure the $100 million correctly to claim it's there. And that's a massive part. I would say that's 9% why a lot of people just simply don't get it. So they don't own the money. They don't have $100 million. Another of them is that a lot of genuine private placement programs, genuine ones, they offer realistic returns. They offer maybe 30%, 40%, 60%, but they don't offer 2,000%. They just don't. Like, I don't know. And by the way, if people don't know this about me, my father was a managing director of a bank. My uncle is a former retired executive of a bank. Like, I come from a banking family. If you watch some of my previous videos, you'll see my relationship with the Rothschild family, and so on, so on, so on. So I know 5 people within banks. If you look at All Funds Global, we boldly claim we work with the top 30 banks in the world. Like, we really do. So a lot of people, I find, they chase some kind of a shiny object. They think that $100 will turn into $5,000 within, by end of the week. And honest to God, I just don't know how this is even possible. When you're chasing platforms or bullets that are too good to be true, more likely they're way too good to be true, and they're fraudulent. Customers are walking into the industry where they're chasing a shiny object. They don't know what are the questions to ask to vet the platform. They don't know what questions to ask to vet the platform. A lot of them ask amateur questions like, can you show me past performance? Can you show me customer references? Well, let me tell you, it is illegal. It is illegal for a platform to give you a customer reference. It's just illegal. Everybody that I have helped successfully get into one of these programs, including myself, we sign non-disclosure, non-circumventing agreements with the platform. I have zero interest in George Smith, who I have no relationship with, to know that me or a client of mine participate in the platform. I will legally take litigations against the platform. So there's a lot of amateur customers in the marketplace. They don't know what questions to ask to vet the platform. So that's one reason why I find that a lot of people fail to get into these programs successfully. Another one is they don't have a mentor. They don't have somebody who's been there, done that. They don't have the right legal resources. Like I recommend having a securities law firm represent you, understand this place or that. And then I find that a lot of our customers who eventually come to us, they work with joker brokers. They don't know anybody. They think that they trust this guy. They know this guy. The guy talks a little bit about something, or he talks a lot too much sometimes. But they're working with someone from a joker broker, and that joker broker has no real banking experience. That joker broker doesn't have the bold claim. Yes, I've been there, done that, like that. And the joker broker doesn't. They think they have access to a platform. A lot of comments or things that I have seen on electronic communication is, I'm direct with a platform, or I have a relationship with a platform. These things are not true. I know, for instance, as an example, a private placement program out of HSBC, the trader, I used a real name, a guy called Luke. If he wants $1 billion in a private placement program, the real trader, all he does is he walks down the hall, he goes to the high net worth, the wealth management division of HSBC, and guess what the trader at DBS is doing? Guess what the trader at Barclays is doing? The guy who walks down the hall, he goes and he talks to wealth management advisors of Barclays or HSBC or DBS, or pick whichever bank you think is running platform. That wealth management advisor is calling Facebook, Amazon, the guy who runs Magna, the guy who runs $1 billion fund, like that. That one-on-one relationship. I promise you, a legitimate trader does not have joker brokers on LinkedIn, and he doesn't give them a direct mandate. It just doesn't happen. And you will see a lot of people on Facebook or LinkedIn who say, I have a direct mandate from a platform. Those are not real. At least that's my years of experience offering investigation services in this space. So now I'll tell you about why I love joker brokers, what they call intermediaries, why they fail. From their perspective, my experience, and just so you know, within All Funds Global, we have over 400 brokers become strategic partners or strategic brokers, and we actually educate these fellows. We run webinars, so we elevate their level of awareness to some degree for sure. Why the people who don't participate in our ecosystem are intermediaries. In many cases, I call them joker brokers. I find that they don't have any sales skills. The guy doesn't have any sales skills. He is truly his full-time job. He drives Uber, but on LinkedIn he'll say he's an intermediary or he's got direct access to a platform. If you had a camera watching him, he is driving Uber. If you get his office address, he's working from his home. And when you look at his house on Google Maps, it's a shack. It really is a shack. How could you be a successful intermediary to a real platform and live in a shack? These things don't compound. They don't make common sense. So I find with the intermediaries, or what I refer to as joker broker, the guy has no sales skills. He doesn't know how to qualify real customers. He's trying to chase a shiny object. He really is. He's trying to make $5. He pretends that he has access to a platform, but if you follow the trail, all he has is a relationship with another joker broker who claims he's direct with a platform. And if you talk to the second joker broker, it's a chain of joker brokers. 99.9% of them link to some kind of fraudulent activity. That's 99% of them. And what's really amazing, I did a video on, I think, 4 case studies where we help clients who had lost money, and we did a customer case study with each of these clients. 4 of them, they gave money to what they thought was a platform. The platform was giving money to another guy who thought the other guy's a platform, and the other guy thought the other guy's a platform. Like the amount of, excuse my language, stupidity that goes into these things is, I just don't know what else to say. The Joker brokers don't know what are the questions to ask to vet the platform, to know which platform is real or not. They don't even know what are the questions to ask the customer. Hey, Mr. Customer, you have $100 million. Prove to me the $100 million is yours. Prove it to me. Prove to me that this money is not theft, anti-money laundering. They don't know what questions to really ask. And then they'll come across a lot of fraudulent deals where the customer will say, I have a land and it's worth $1 billion, or I have a gold mine, it's worth $1 trillion, or I have this bond. Oh my God, this bond, I got it from the King of England, or something stupid like that. And the Joker broker actually believes that. And I have met, unfortunately, Joker brokers that have been in the industry for 3 years, 6 years, 7 years, and the guy hasn't made one penny. He hasn't made one penny, and all he's doing is chasing shiny objects, shiny objects, shiny objects. What he's trying to do is get a job or get income that will get him out of being an Uber driver. And please don't hear this wrong way. There's nothing wrong with being an Uber driver. I know a lot of half-decent human beings who participate and contribute to Uber and things like that. I'm just talking about Joker brokers who pretend to be something that they're not. And then when it comes to brokers, we do monthly, my partnership team does monthly webinars with a lot of brokers, and we train. When I look at the content of the training we provide, my experience, you're constantly trained. I mean, there's banking training we give to our exclusive brokers, mastermind groups like that. But what I find is most of the training, or part of the training, is on mindset. Like, these people just don't have the mindset to win. And that's unfortunate. And this is why I feel a lot of the Joker brokers simply fail at getting into the game. So how does AFG, All Funds Global, can help organizations who want to participate in private placement programs or bullets? The first full disclaimer, I never, ever recommend bullets. 99.9999% of these things are fraudulent. Genuine private placement programs, how we can help you out is, if you have a platform that you want to get into, a bullet trade you want to get into, we can offer you former FBI, CIA agents who can vet out the platform. And my people are former white-collar crime specialists, so they're not new to this. They're not private investigators. Like, they know exactly what to look for, how to chase money, like things like that. That by itself is worth a lot. We can introduce you to law firms. Not every law firm knows what these things are. We can introduce you to law firms that will help vet it out for you. We can introduce you to alternative platforms that we have a relationship with, we have a trust with. We've seen some level of performance of that. And so these are some of the ways that All Funds Global can help. We can provide you mentorship, experience. A lot of my senior associates have participated either in a real private placement program or a hybrid of a private placement program. So we have some experience that we can offer you. I'm going to tell you who we do not serve. Let me say this again. I'm going to tell you who we at All Funds Global do not serve. If you're a business owner or somebody who's walking to the table with empty pockets, and you feel or hope that you're gonna leave with something, we do not serve that market. Let me say that clearly, and once again, if you are walking into the table, into the relationship with empty pockets, like nothing, and you expect to leave with something, we do not serve that market. I'm sure you understand what that means. If you're an entrepreneur that has $500,000 and you want to get into a bullet program or private placement program, and you're expecting to make millions of dollars or trillions of dollars, we do not serve that market. For $500,000, at best, you should look at a cryptocurrency program that imitates a PPP. And if you need one of those, you can contact our office, and we're happy to introduce you to some of those. Our brand is very selected to the top 30 banks in the world. That's the market that, kind of thing. If you're a Joker broker, a lot of these Joker brokers don't do a proper KYC of knowing your client. And you've got a document or paper that, hey, I have a rich client, he's a trillionaire. I don't know any trillionaire, billionaire, or multimillionaire. I don't know any genuine trillionaire, billionaire, or multimillionaire who doesn't work with a top 10 law firms in the world or the top 7 accounting firms in the world. Those guys don't need joker brokers. And a lot of joker brokers simply don't get that. They go, I have a relationship with this guy and it's genuine. I have a relationship with my mother. My mother is one of the closest human beings in the world to me. I do not go to my mother, who has no experience in banking, with an SBLC or private placement program. So a lot of these joker brokers hallucinate, and they think, I have a relationship with this billionaire and they want to go into trade. I want to tell you, if you're one of those joker brokers, we do not serve that market. Any billionaire I know has a direct relationship with any of the top 10 law firms in the world. And I promise you, the partners of the top 10 law firms or accounting firms know exactly the real, genuine private placement platforms. So if you have that kind of relationship, they don't reach out to a joker broker. That's not a market we serve. If you're a customer and you have some kind of a weird paper, like you went on eBay and you put up $5,000 and you downloaded or bought something that's worth $50 million, a bond for $50 million from eBay, and you want to monetize that bond and go into a private placement program, we do not, keywords, we don't serve that market. We do not serve that market. Just don't serve that market. If you're a customer and you have anything that's weird, any kind of an asset that's it's an in-ground asset, it's a gold mine, it's something that's worth billions of dollars, and you genuinely then put up billions of dollars, we do not serve that market. Everything that I mentioned, we have. I'm happy to say we don't have 3 competitors. We have 3,000 competitors. Feel free to reach out to our competitors and show these instruments, devices, paper, and see if somebody there can help you out. There's only one market we serve, and that is successful business owners that have real assets, real cash, real standby of credit, something that's real. They want to leverage it, and they're looking for a trusted partner. We become part of the, I'll say, management team, if I can say that way. So we actually become part of the management team of the client to leverage our relationships to help the client access capital. The banks are offering today, but they're only offering it to their top 50, top 30 customers. That's the only market we serve. The amount of money that we help these successful businesses get allows that business owner to invest in side businesses, buy a new business, invest more money in their own business. So if you're interested in working with All Funds Global, learning a lot about how private placement programs work, match buy sell programs work, there's only one way to do this, and that is to book a consultation call through our website. I have a former bank CEO who said this to me, and I really believe in it. He goes, Taimour, I'm a former bank CEO. I don't take one WhatsApp call. He says, anybody who calls me on WhatsApp is somebody who has no money. They're trying to get something. The only way to engage us is to go to allfundsglobal.com, look at our products and services, and book a consultation call. My name is Taimour Zaman from All Funds Global. I want to say thank you so much for your time and attention. Feel free to check us out at Trustpilot. Look at I think as of today we score 4.8 out of 5. If you get a chance to work with us or our associates and you leverage one of our services, feel free to go to trustpilot.com and give us a review. We always strive to score 5 out of 5. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side.